Hey, this is Ken M.
Padawan J.
Coach Duffy.
From the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour podcast. Every week, the ODPH is talking sports, movies, TV, comics, and more. It's always a parlay of topics on each episode. You can find the ODPH on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and wherever you find great podcasts, such as the one you're listening to right now. Don't forget to check out OchoDuroParlayHour.com, where you can find the links to all of the ODPH social media accounts, links to the bands whose music you hear each week on the show, hashtag 607 podcast info, and parlay points, our companion blog section of the show. Thanks for listening to the ODPH. Now get back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
Are you ready to be scared to death? You joined us for Scary Larry's House of Universal Horrors. Now prepare yourself for Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. And don't forget, as always, these guys swear like fucking sailors.
Fuck yeah, we do.
Said we're to take no chances, didn't he?
I know, but with a hand of glory, there's no telling when you wake. He might sleep for days.
All the better.
Shh.
We don't want him butting in. Go on, light it up.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Pint Comics. This time, Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. Every time I say that, I swear it sounds like I say horrors. Horrors also has on the interstate in New Jersey. Yeah, on Interstate 5 in New Jersey. Visit Scary Larry's House of Horrors. That's a very cool place. Spend the weekend. Don't tell your wife. Turn down service, and it's a great place. Just make sure to bring a black light. Bring and a black light. Yeah, free cable. HBO, Skinamax. It's all a good time. We're back. Another episode with the four of us Brady Bunch in it. That's my new term for it. That's when we record Skype style. And I don't know, Lloyd's over there. He's Yep.
I looked the wrong way.
We have done
and John
episodes.
Is just the coolest of us all.
He is cool. Look how cool he is.
I wish I could be that cool.
Yeah. And Robert Reed as the dad. Although John is not an angry, closeted homosexual.
Wow.
No.
That we know of.
That we know of.
Right.
He hated being on the Brady Bunch so much that he used to go on his lunch breaks to a bar near the studio and drink and come back like combatively drunk. He hated that job.
Wow.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, the real sordid history behind that show in terms of him. He fucking hated it. He totally hated it. Yeah. All right.
But he wasn't out.
No.
Okay. All right.
No. I don't even think he was out when he died. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He died of AIDS, and I think it all kind of came out after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He wasn't one of those guys that had like a fake wife, was he married to like a woman?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he had a beard or not.
I'm sorry?
A beard.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah. When you have a fake, like Elton John. Elton John was married for a few years. He had a beard.
That's called a beard, huh?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that myself.
That's a first. I like it, though.
John, you've heard of that, right, Sir John? You've heard of a beard before? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, we're from the Middletown area. We hear these things.
Yeah. Yeah. So for everybody out there, if you weren't aware, which I'm surprised because Larry's very streetwise and Lloyd's a smart guy, if you have a fake partner of the opposite sex, even though you're gay, It's your beard. It's called the beard.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
What a goatee is.
That's if you go both ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about twinks, bears, otters, and the rest of the domain on another show.
Somebody recently asked me on Instagram if I was a bear.
Gotta watch out for
And
that.
I
John's
said,
a
no,
great
I'm a
big
Raiders
grizzly bear.
fan.
I'm a bear. I'm certainly
Yeah.
a bear. I actually have a friend of mine. I won't name names. A guy I worked with for many years who I worked with and did not know he was homosexual. No problem. Years later on Facebook, we reconnected. He said to me, he goes, you're a bear. And I said, what does that mean? And he told me, and he said to me, he said, your wife's a very lucky woman. And then Lindsay said to me, she's like, every time you do anything on Facebook, he likes it. Or I'm like, that's kind of nice. I feel like it's been a long time since I've gotten that kind of attention, and I don't care who it comes from at this point.
Yeah, what? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hear that.
It's the 90s, man. Fuck it.
Live it up. Let's get gay. All right, sorry.
Speaking of the 90s, let's get out of the 90s. Let's get out of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Let's go back to 1973. All right.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So
Why?
December
What are we doing?
6th.
yeah, I think December 6th of 73. Well, the reason is, Larry, and we're going to have you talk about it in a second, is we put a vote out again, and the perennial, almost was.
Yeah.
Give us the numbers, Larry. You have them?
I'm fucking pulling it
You're
up
pulling
now.
them up?
'Cause you always fucking stump me. And I'm like, I don't know.
So,
I got
we
it.
do the vote. There it is.
There it is.
John's got the special. There's only 2,000 of those made. I was reading about that.
No.
That box set? I'm pretty sure.
My number on the back of the box is 28,923 out of 50,000. So
50,000.
I don't know
That
what
was the number I was thinking. I
50,000.
always subtract 48,000 from everything I talk about.
limited edition to 50,000 copies.
Is it wood? Is that a wood case?
It is. It's
Yeah.
a wood case. It comes with two different versions of the poster. It's hard to see because it's reversed. But and then the two different versions of the movie, the theatrical version and the extended version.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about that.
It's the fancy shelf look, but there's not a lot of extras in here. It's just a box, really. Yeah, it was pretty disappointing when I got it, but I didn't care because it had the extra edition on it. So
I'm pretty sure I just watched the normal theatrical edition. It was about an hour and a half.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Yeah. So we're talking about the Wicker Man. So the Wicker Man has been in the running to win the 4-way vote we do all the time for this show. It has lost several times.
Times.
Who did it go up against, Larry? And what were the vote totals where it won triumphantly this time? And it won triumphantly.
It did triumph quite gloriously on the battlefield.
Yeah.
We'll remind everybody that it was in the running last time up against, what did we do last time? Dead Alive.
Dead Alive, yeah.
Sir John's favorite movie, Dead Alive. It was in the running against that and lost by one vote.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, right? It was literally
one or two. Yeah.
Yeah. And it, like you said, it had been in several other, but this time it was up against the Prowler, which is a sort of underground-ish, not underground, that's a bad word, but you know what? If you like slasher films, you got to really like slasher films to know what the fucking Prowler is.
Right.
It's not Friday the 13th. Toby Hooper's The Funhouse, which has also been in several runnings, and Basket Case, which I believe I anointed the early winner. I was pretty sure Basket Case was going to run away with this thing.
I actually voted for Basket Case.
Did you? Yeah.
I just wanted to see it. I knew Wicker Man would win.
Did you really? I really thought Basket Case was going to take it, but not so much. So
I love Basket Case.
I'll start from the bottom up.
Yeah.
The Funhouse had a grand total of 17 votes. Next was the Prowler with 28. After that was Basket Case with 39. And then the Wicker Man with 88.
Boom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Wicker Man. I think it was the first time we've ever had something double the next.
Yeah.
The second place.
Yeah, the last vote, they were close, right?
I think the last vote was one vote apart.
When I announced that the Wicker Man had won, more people had commented on our Twitter and our Facebook, finally, they're waiting for the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
And Sir John, obviously.
And Sir John has been patiently waiting. I'll give him credit. Patiently.
I was pretty sure that I was going to just suggest, if it didn't win last time, that we just say, next one, Pint pick, Wicker Man.
We were going to do like the American Idol golden buzzer or whatever it is. Just put it through.
Oh, yeah.
I had never seen it before. And
we ought to have that.
Yeah,
we should have that. Each one just straight.
Each one of us gets a golden buzzer. Like one we could just fucking override.
This one's going up.
We're pushing it through. John, since this is
the last one,
such a great favorite of yours, why don't you do the honors of the bumper sticker, and then when you're done, we'll go back over to Larry and ask him why this ended up. Why this ended up on the whiskey. Why this ended up on Larry's 20 list. So first, John, what is this movie about?
Simply put, it's about a Scottish police officer, a missing child, a young early teen girl on a remote Scottish island where he is butt up against paganism and the disappearance of this girl. He being a very devout Christian Scottish officer, so it's kind of a more of a religious in your face kind of situation where you've got two converging religions bashing up against each other and what occurs from it. It's just loaded with really, really good imagery, acting, and roles. So it's something else for a low budget.
That's it. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
All right, Larry, how did this end up on your 20 list?
I think John had mentioned it so many times in other that when you first asked me for 20, I just threw it on there because he had mentioned it, that it was a favorite. I like Sir John. I like Sir John, so I said, all right, I will put this on here because I knew very well that we were going to have to talk about a lot of things that Sir John did not like.
Yes.
So I figured I might as well slide a cookie in there for him.
Throw him a bone.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Before. Yep. I'd seen it. If I had to guess, honestly, the last time I remember seeing it was when I worked at Channel 1 Video, and I was probably 15 or 16 years old.
Okay, so good. We got something in there that you hadn't seen in a while. I'd never seen it before. I had seen the remake. I had never seen this one.
Well, that's what I watched one with Nicolas Cage. That's what we're talking about, right?
Oh, the bees!
No, I have never seen the Nicolas Cage one.
Had you seen this one prior?
I bought it last year, just as a recommendation from John, and I did watch it last year. So I just watched it again this week.
Okay, so my first time.
Twice now, yeah.
Lloyd, the Nicolas Cage version, you like Dead Alive, right?
Dead Alive.
He was in the middle.
You'll probably like Dead Alive better than the Nicolas Cage version of
All right.
We'll talk about that.
I've heard about the bees. I don't really know what role they play, but I've heard about the bees.
So, yeah.
Anytime I hear bees, I think of fucking Tommy Chris Farley.
They're sting crazy. So, Lloyd, you know how this movie essentially is a horror movie about apples? In the Nicolas Cage version?
It becomes a horror movie in the last 30 seconds.
Absolutely. I was going to say that. This movie is about apples.
And folk music.
Yeah, and folk music. The apples being the export of the island. In the Nicolas Cage version, it's honey. It's not apples. So that's where the bees come into play.
All right, I get it.
Yeah. This was made in, it was filmed October 9th, 72 to November 25th, 72. Budget-wise, I had an issue with this. I found it in pounds. So obviously a Scottish production, 500,000 pounds. I wasn't very sure of that. And I tried to find other places.
I found the 500,000 pounds as well. And then I did a little research. And back in 1973, with the exchange rate, that's about $1.25 million.
Oh, okay.
U.S. dollars.
Look at Lloyd.
Keep in mind that certain actors didn't take money for the role either.
Christopher Lee, right?
This thing made. Correct.
Christopher Lee did this for free.
Good for him.
He probably was only on set for like 2 fucking days.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of him.
He essentially ended up saying that this was his favorite movie he ever made.
Yeah,
which
a lot of it got
which is
excised.
batshit fucking crazy, but whatever. Whatever.
I can see it. His line, the way we'll get into it, but the way he delivers his lines.
No, he wants to get away from that Hammer horror stuff.
He's great in it, but for him to say it's the best film he's ever made is just crazy.
Well, it was his favorite. I think it was his absolute favorite of his movies.
All right,
Lloyd, could you find gross on this thing or no?
All I got was the box office of $58,000.
That's what I got too. So I wasn't sure if that was in pounds or whatnot.
Yeah, that was in dollars, I think.
Okay. This was directed by a guy named Robin Hardy. He made a movie in 1986 called The Fantasist, I guess.
Yeah, you know that's Tom. It's Tom Hardy's great uncle.
Oh, is it really?
No, that was a Lloyd.
That's
fact.
a fact.
That a Lloyd fact?
That was bullshit.
You fucking got me.
Sorry, Lloyd. I had to take a Lloyd fact.
Here's Tom Hardy as Bane saying you're a liar. So, Larry, I see that you like to use deception. I used deception too when I was in the League of Shadows.
I was molded by it.
Oh Jesus. Oh boy.
I really didn't understand. Can we? I don't get why Bane sounded like fucking Sean Connery. I just don't understand. All right. Well, I'm sorry. Forget
it. Was Sean Connery. It was like Sean Connery and like Mr. Peanut. Like what you think Mr. Peanut would sound like? It
was a really strange. I mean, because I was never a huge DC Comics guy.
Yeah.
But I'd read some stuff with Bane, and I never pictured a Scottish accent.
No, he's supposed to be
once.
Latin. He's supposed to be. He's from the island of like Santa Prisca. Yeah.
Whatever. All right.
He's probably wondering why you'd shoot a man before throwing him out of an airplane. All right. Yeah.
Let's.
So Robin Hardy did not have anything to do with Tom Hardy.
No, nothing.
He also made a movie in 2011 called The Wicker Tree. That was like a spiritual sequel. John, have you ever seen this?
No, I've never seen it. There's a third film as well. I don't even know if it's been made yet. I haven't watched any of those because I don't know how they intend to make any kind of connection, especially so many years after the fact.
Right.
It stands on its own very, very well. It doesn't need to have some kind of silly trilogy. I think Robin Hardy just got a hard on about the classical view of reviewers over time that this movie's gotten. It's like, oh, I can do more.
The Apple trilogy.
It not need a sequel. No.
No, it really doesn't. And
Lee was in The Wicker Tree, right? Though, wasn't he? I think Christopher Lee was in it.
Yeah. I don't know if he appeared in it, but he was in it in some way. I don't know. I never saw it, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
So this was written by Anthony Schaefer, is the screenwriter, and actually in the title it's called Anthony Schaefer's The Wicker Man.
Right.
I had never heard of before.
Yeah, he's actually the grandson of the founder of Schaefer Beer.
Don't you fucking do it.
Bullshit artist.
Horseshit artist.
All right.
He's a known screenwriter. In the 70s, he wrote Sleuth and Death on the Nile. So I guess he liked to do those detective things. This is based on a novel by a guy named David Pinner that came out in 1967 named Ritual.
Right.
All right. So there's the idea behind the movie. Lloyd, who do we have in the movie?
Well, there's a very short version.
Well, that's that short. We'll get into it further.
All I was going to say is that the adaptation situation is a lot stranger than the simplification.
We'll jump into it.
It was originally written as a script for a film, and then when the film wasn't going to come about, he wrote it as a novel, and then he was going to write it. And then they adapted the novel, or they're going to adapt the novel as a script, and that's when they realized that the novel couldn't be adapted into the film that became The Wicker Man without major restructuring. So that's why it's not a direct adaptation of the novel. Roundabout way of saying it's inspired by, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty common with some adaptations like that.
Sure.
Yeah,
because there was actually a novelized adaptation of the movie too after the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So this thing, and there's a mini series, and there was a soap opera based on it. There's a comic book series that DC put out in '78.
There was a radio serial
There was a radio serial, but that came out in the 20s, 50 years before.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm the Wicker Man.
A lot of history to Wicker Man.
Everybody did the Charleston. The Wicker Man. All right, Lloyd, who do we have in this movie?
Well, in the lead role, you got Edward Woodward, Sergeant Neil Howie. Now, he's a guy most known from the Equalizer TV show.
That's Denzel Washington.
That was
I know.
No, that was a great TV show. I love that show. Also in 1980, Breaker Morant.
Right.
If you've never seen Breaker Morant, you should see it.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah,
it's an
never heard of
amazing
it.
film. Yeah. See, when you say that he's mainly known for The Equalizer, he's mainly known in the States.
In the States, yeah. He's a English actor, right?
Yeah. He was. Hey, actually, if you know Peter Woodward, that's actually his son.
Is it really, though?
And that's true.
Okay.
Yes, it is really.
All right.
You call bullshit on that.
I'm going to believe John on that one.
Bullshit artist. He passed away in 2009, Edward Woodward.
Our friend Brian would know him best from Hot Fuzz, of course.
Yes.
Because he was in Hot Fuzz.
Who was he in Hot Fuzz?
I have no fucking idea. But
you don't remember?
I don't remember. I saw Hot Fuzz once and didn't like it. I never watched it.
Oh, it's a great movie.
He was the leader of the whole cultists.
Oh, he was that guy? That's crazy. That's funny.
Really?
I'll have to give that a watch again just to see that.
Okay.
He's the leader of the township public whatever, the watch.
Yeah.
And then he's the lead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I hate to admit, I have never seen Hot Fuzz all the way through.
Oh, it's great. Don't listen to Larry, although he's very right too.
Although he's right.
The greater good.
I didn't love it, but so I only saw it that once. But I was looking at IMDb yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, look at it! Guy was in fucking Hot Fuzz."
Who do we got next?
So next we have Sir Christopher Lee.
Never heard of him.
I think there's a few more names in there in his knighthood. He was Lord Summerisle, basically the leader of this whole island.
Captain Apples.
Yep. Yeah, Captain Apples.
The Apple King.
He was knighted in 2009. I don't know if
he was. That.
Yep.
Yes, he was.
He played Dracula. He played a lot of the Hammer horror films.
Tons.
He was, in The Man with the Golden Gun.
Yep.
The Bond film. He played Count Dooku.
Yep.
In that garbage film. And Saruman in Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, he's a well-known guy.
Well-known. Yeah.
Is he the one? Did he make like a metal album before he died? He did.
He made metal albums. He was
called Lord Summerisle, I believe.
He was actually honored by. He got some heavy metal award. He'd made opera albums. He spoke 7 or 8 languages, was a spy. No, you think Floyd thinks I'm fucking around now. I'm not. He was a spy in the, what's the British, the SAS?
SAS, yeah.
He was a spy in the SAS for years.
He spoke at my graduation from college.
That's bullshit.
See, bullshit artists.
Yeah. He did
not speak at your fucking.
He did.
Dr. Henry Lee. Dr. Henry Lee spoke at your fucking, and that's a totally different Lee.
I think you're right. I think
maybe Brandon Lee spoke at your fucking.
Ooh.
Not even Bruce.
I think it was Mayor Mike. Maybe.
Christopher Lee did read the Lord of the Rings trilogy every year. He read the novels. Those fucking long motherfucking books.
They are long.
He read them every year.
Yeah, he's supposedly a great guy. Supposedly was a great guy, and him and well-known friendship between him and Peter Cushing forever.
Oh yeah,
they were like best of friends until death.
And he had great hair in this movie.
He did have great hair.
He did.
He had great knees too when he had the skirt. When he had the skirt on, not knobby like you would expect. A nice knee.
Nice smooth.
Yeah,
like an ostrich knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have Britt Eklund.
Titties.
McGregor.
Titties.
Yes. Yeah. She was a Bond girl in that same movie.
She was.
Man with the Golden Gun.
And she was it in the 70s.
Yeah. She was a sex symbol back then.
Well, she was married to Peter Sellers. And then she was with Rod Stewart. For quite some time. And
during the filming of this.
Right. And then she ended up married to the singer from LA Guns.
What?
Yes, and not Lloyd's looking at me. No, it's not a bullshit.
Yeah,
it's the
not
truth.
bullshit.
And I guess they were married for a while. She was married to the singer from LA Guns, who's older than you think. Oh, he's like 63 now. So I guess
Phil Lewis, right? Something like that.
No fucking idea.
He was a British guy.
Well, that makes sense because she's British or something, right? But like you'd figure, like, I don't know how old Axl Rose and them are, but they're younger than 63.
Yeah,
I would have figured he would have been around the same age as them, but I guess he was a little older.
It's like the Mick Mars effect.
Older guy in Deathgasm.
Yeah, he was the older guy. Yeah, he was the Mick Mars of the early Hollywood fucking poser scene, I guess. But yeah, she ended up married to him for a while.
I think one of the most interesting things about her role, right? Who did she play? It was
Willow.
Is that so? Britt Eklund plays.
I know what you're going to say.
I know what you're going.
Yeah. She plays Willow.
Yeah.
She's dubbed. Her speaking voice is dubbed, and then a different person does her singing voice.
Yeah.
Here's my question to the producers of The Wicker Man: why don't you just find a fucking singer that could also do the talking voice? You just spent more money.
Because she was so popular, I think. Because they wanted her fucking popularity in the film. Dude, I would think.
Another actress did the gyrating scenes.
Dude, you could totally tell.
Yeah.
You could totally tell. That was awesome, though. The way there's a scene where the Lieutenant Howie is Sergeant Howie is in the next room, and she's this very beautiful, buxom innkeeper's daughter, and she essentially is playing the walls in her ass trying to get him horny. It's so fucking amazing. She's banging on the walls and then she's like slapping her ass.
Right. Yeah, and he's sweating his balls off.
Oh, he was so fucking sweaty.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is gonna break. There's no way he's not pulling out his fucking wiener and going in there. There's no fucking way. Because she's slapping her ass. She's doing like the lambada. It's like the forbidden dance.
I was like, what is this? Deadly Friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. John, I gotta ask because I know that you tend to like the early Hollywood women. How does Britt Eklund on the John scale? Is she up there?
Compared to Ingrid Pitt, she holds no candles.
Oh my God!
Big Ingrid Pitt fan, huh?
Was Ingrid Pitt? Okay, we'll get into it. Yeah. She was the librarian, right?
Yes.
Was she also the woman in the tub at the end?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't care about any missing girl.
I think that was
at that point. I don't know.
The girl in the tub was Miss Rose.
When he opens,
yeah, I think that was, but I'm not even sure about that. I think it might have been somebody completely different.
It could be. Yeah. She wasn't credited as girl in the tub.
All right, Lloyd. Who else we have?
Then we got as Miss Rose was Diane Salento.
That's the one that dated Sean Connery.
She dated Sean Connery,
and
she was married to Sean Connery.
And that's the one that he got in trouble for making the comment that it was okay to slap it around once in a while.
Sometimes you just have to swap a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, no, Sean, that's not true at all. And even if you think that, you should not say it out loud. That was supposed to be in your inside voice.
Let me tell you something, Moneypenny. There's nothing a good slapping across the face won't make a bitch not do.
Yeah. Oh, Sean. Yeah. Fucking Bane.
That's beautiful.
All right. Well, so that was Diane Cilantro, right? Who else?
Yeah.
Who else?
And you got Ingrid Pitt as the librarian.
Yeah. So, John, what were your feelings about Ingrid Pitt then?
Ingrid Pitt, basically, once you see her, the intensity that she has in the few scenes that she had, they're just fantastic. And I love the fact that she has this dowdy sort of look, but you can see right through it, which is another thing that this film has.
Totally.
A lot of them are kind of dowdy, but when you get right down to it, there's a lot of sex going on.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole field for it.
Yeah.
That there, my boy, that's the field of fuckering.
This is where we fuck the women.
Yes. This is the inn. This is where your supper will be. And then if you take a walk out to the front there and take a little bit to the left, you'll walk into the fucking.
That's what they should have been called, the fucking.
The fucking.
Yeah, the fucking. But she was in all the Hammer stuff.
Yeah.
The house that dripped blood.
Yeah.
Countess Dracula. I can't even remember. She was in a ton.
She was in Dr. Zhivago as well.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
I didn't know she was in Dr. Zhivago. Huh. I just knew the horror stuff, of course.
And I guess she was a writer as well. Wrote novels. Yep.
Awesome. Is she still alive?
No,
Don't
but
think so. No.
her nephew Brad is a pretty big actor. Yeah,
I've heard of him. I've heard of that guy. He's going to be a star one day.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
yeah. Good looking kid too.
He's a looker.
Good looking. Yeah,
he's a looker.
Yeah.
Get those periwinkle blue eyes.
Yeah.
This episode entirely brought to you by bullshit. All right, Lloyd. What else we got?
The next one is a man, Lindsay Kemp. Sounds like a woman's name, but it's a man.
Well, funny you should say that.
Uncle of Jack Kemp.
because Lindsay was David Bowie's boyfriend for quite some time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
He played Alden McGregor, the landlord.
Yep.
That was David Bowie was fucking that guy?
Yeah. Yeah. That guy was that guy was apparently a big star over there at that time. I don't know. Yeah. He was also, I know he was in Vampire Lovers with Ingrid Pitt. I know that.
Wow.
But I don't know anything. I don't know anything else about him other than he was David Bowie's boyfriend and inspiration.
Mentor, even.
Yeah.
And Kate Bush as well.
Yeah.
Not her lover, but you know.
I'm disappointed in David Bowie.
And Kate Blanchett as well.
And Kate Jackson.
Yeah.
Scarecrow and
Kate
Mrs.
Upton.
King.
Also Kate Upton.
Yeah.
Yep. Kate and Allie.
Kate's.
Kate and Allie.
Kate and Allie.
Yep.
Oh, this episode's crazy. All right.
There's a couple more. I don't know a whole lot about the rest of these.
Just give us one more.
Aubrey Morris as the old gardener.
Aubrey Morris.
He was in the Gravedigger.
Him I recognized.
Clockwork Orange.
Yes. He's PR Deltoid in Clockwork Orange.
Yep.
He is the prison warden or psychiatrist that Alex sees. And my boy, as soon as I saw him in this movie, I went, I know that fucking guy.
You know what's funny about this movie, too, is Aubrey Morris appeared in one episode of Babylon 5, and Edward Woodward, father of Peter Woodward, appeared in an episode of, the spin-off series.
Crusade?
Babylon
Crusade,
6?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, not 6. Crusade, where they actually acted together, the two of them, Peter Woodward.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if that was the first time they'd seen each other. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Awkward.
Last
time I talked to you, you were showing me a fucking umbilical cord wrapped around a tree.
Yeah. Remember when we burned you in that fucking...
what a day. What a fucking day. I think Lloyd described this very, very well. This is not a horror movie.
No.
Until the last 10 minutes is the most horrifying shit of all time. Like, seriously. Oof.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, you're in an era where movies were a lot more substance than action.
Yeah.
You know, now we're a lot more. That movie would never fucking fly today. People would be asleep. People would fucking leave the theater.
Midsummer.
It's
Midsummer.
Some of those scenes would never be filmed.
Well, that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
If Ari Aster, is that his name? Ari Aster?
Yeah.
If he says that Wicker Man is not, I don't know if he does. I'm just saying, if he were to say that's not an influence on Midsummer, he's full of shit.
Oh, come on. It's, I mean, the whole Mayfair, the whole thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for a Wicker Man, he made a wicker bear, whatever. Like,
yeah.
And that wasn't like a bear that they climbed into in Midsummer or something.
It was a real bear. Yeah.
Well, they made a kid into a bear.
Is that what it was?
That they put into the bear.
Oh, Lloyd hasn't seen Midsummer yet? Okay. All right.
No, really, Lloyd?
I have it queued up on my movie list.
All right.
When did you queue it up? 2 years ago?
Yeah, really?
Summer 2012.
Yeah, I think the spoiler fucking police is over on that one.
No, I still don't know anything. So
I don't think there's anything to spoil in it, really, because it's still.
I mean, there's certain scenes to spoil. But.
Here, I'll give you the idea.
You like the people that die?
Without spoiling it for you? The idea is Midsummer is weird in a different way.
Yeah.
And then crazy shit just continuously happens throughout the whole thing, which very much bumper stickers The Wicker Man. This movie, the soundtrack, like what was that first song?
Which one?
When he's flying, which I didn't realize until after in the movie that he flew himself in. I was like, where's this pilot going to hang out? And then I'm like, oh, this motherfucker can fly a plane.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't see a seaplane very often anymore.
No.
Right? Seaplanes always seem pretty cool to me, but I haven't seen one in a long fucking time. I was pretty happy to see a seaplane. I was like, all right, good, a seaplane. I was pretty psyched.
It's a tiny little thing too.
It is a small seaplane.
Dude, literally the only plane I've ever seen in my life with an anchor. Had an anchor.
Seems like it would be a bad idea to have an anchor.
I would think so too. Like I see seaplanes like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's got pontoons. It floats. This motherfucking plane had an anchor.
It did have an anchor. And he was very fucking upset that guy didn't want to come pick him up originally.
Yeah. How many times?
I say, sir, bring out your dinghy. If the guy really should have unzipped. I mean,
if there was a drinking game. If there was a drinking game based on how many times he says dingy in that first conversation, dead.
There was a drinking game on how angry that guy was through the entire fucking film.
Oh, isn't that great?
Oh, he was angry before he even fucking landed. He was already angry.
I got to ask you guys because apparently the extended scenes, some of them are in the very beginning of the movie. Where does it start for you guys?
Flying in.
He's flying.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole bit where you
on the
see
mainland.
Yeah,
I figured there would be.
Yeah, you learn more about how restrictive of a personality he is. You meet like the people.
Sorry, it doesn't start out on the plane. It starts out with him in church.
Oh, really? Okay, it's still short.
The one that I watched, it starts out in a fucking church, and he's
singing.
standing there he's singing with the fucking book.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Yeah. But that's like literally like a minute long scene.
Yeah, it's not long. It just reminded me of how much I hate church. Like I was like, oh god, it's fucking awful. Like I feel awful just watching this. Like,
there's this all this stuff in the beginning with his one of his lieutenants that basically is making fun of him subtly throughout every scene because he's such a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
And there's a scene at the police station with this other guy, this other police officer, and the mailman who's bringing the letter from Summerisle, and they're just joking about how he's involved with this girl that you see at the church, but he hasn't banged her yet because he's waiting until they get married.
Yeah. Well, that's the
He
thing.
was a virgin.
We find out later on that he's actually a virgin.
Yeah, well, there's a whole bit in the beginning where they open it up.
Like, what is this dude?
So
45
totally
years old?
explains
Is he?
it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I never thought he was that young either. So
Yeah, I'm like, homeboy's like 45. No wonder he's so fucking angry.
Absolutely.
Right?
It totally makes sense.
Yeah, once they were like, "Oh, you're a virgin," I was like, "Fuck, that's why this guy is so mad."
Yeah.
I get it now. Like, if that dude had just been late a few times, he would have just fucking flew away as soon as the dude wouldn't bring the dinghy out.
Yeah.
So, fuck it, I'm going home. I don't care.
I said to Lindsay, she wasn't watching it with me, but she was just kind of chilling out. I said to her, because she's paying attention, I said, this dude is like that dickhead in every class that's just like going to tell on you for everything. That's his whole character is,
Right.
You're teaching the kids about sex. You got the maypole. It means a dick. I'm telling the authorities, you better listen to me or I'm bringing you in. It's like, calm the fuck down.
Right.
I don't know how he held it together.
Don't you love about how the entire populace of Summerisle is just like, okay, Sergeant, whatever you say.
Yeah, whatever you say, dickhead.
They straight up don't give a fuck.
No, they didn't care at all. Not at all.
And the whole plot of the movie is there are certain things in the movie that we'll get to the end that like they're giving him an out almost like, hey,
Get the
here's
fuck out. Yeah.
here's Willow, fucker, and this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Stop floating your king-like power around. We'll see. But so in the end,
How many times did they tell him fucking beat it before the fucking Mayfair? Because we don't like fucking strangers around during the Mayfair.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh no, I've got fucking things to find out. I need to exhume a corpse.
Yeah.
What are you doing exhuming corpses? Call for backup, you jackass. Sorry, I really got mad at this guy. I was more mad at him than he was mad in the
right
movie.
through that door too.
Yeah, I was more mad at him than he was angry in that movie. I was just as pissed at that guy.
I was kind of pissed at what I would assume to be Scotland Yard for sending like a fucking uniformed cop to investigate a missing kid. Is he the only one that can fly a plane? Isn't there like a detective or someone?
Right.
It's Northern Scotland. That's probably all they had were 3 guys on the force, and he's being the sergeant. He's the only one to go out there.
They got 3 guys on the force, and they can afford for someone to go to a fucking island,
like on a seaplane. They have 3 guys on the force, but they have a seaplane. Maybe sell the seaplane, get a couple other fucking cops.
Yeah. We
Not
don't.
The United States. It works a little differently over there.
We don't have any cruisers out here. We got a fucking seaplane. It's got an anchor.
Yeah, so like I mean I wrote notes while I was watching this, but I got angrier and angrier the further it went on, because I was really fucking mad at Howie. Like he was just really pissing me off. Like
he's a dick.
He was so.
He is a dick.
Like when he walks into the fucking, when he decides that he's staying for the night and he goes into the fucking bar, the whole bar. First of all, it's I was gonna say it's like a scene out of a movie, but it is a scene out of a movie.
It was.
And fucking, the music fucking stops. It turns over. It's like when they walk into the Slaughtered Lamb in American Werewolf in London. Like everybody just fucking looks so. But then they immediately go back to partying. And they try to like wrap him into it, like they're trying to like, oh, have a drink, fucking. Yeah. Here's my hot ass daughter. Right. She's gonna sing the song "Strumpets of Yore." Like fucking just
banging chicks. Come on, join us.
Yeah, hang out, fucking.
We've got a field of fucking outside.
Yeah. He's like, no, I just want some food, and they're like, all we have is canned food that you're gonna hate, so don't have food. Have some whiskey and screw my daughter.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't do any of it. He would have none of it.
He reminded me very much of food. He did. He reminded me very much of the Invisible Man too, with his attitude when he's like, "I'll have my supper now." It's like, whoa, motherfucker!
Whoa.
It's the same thing with the bar scene too.
Yeah. Get me a whiskey. It's like, whoa, you still haven't paid for the canned food yet, motherfucker.
Yeah, he was very demanding. Did he go to the? No, he went to Mae Morrison's fucking shop first, right? Because that was the first place.
Yeah.
Did you take a look at the candy she was selling?
Yeah.
What in the blue fuck kind of a candy shop?
The
was
creepiest
that?
Fucking candy ever. Yeah. There was like a loaf that looked like a kid.
That's right.
I think there was a leg
section out of the cake.
There was like a fucking leg in there. Like I was like, this is, and she's like fucking cutting like a fucking chocolate. Like I don't even know what it was. Like a heart. I think it was a chocolate heart, but not like a fucking like Valentine's Day heart. There was like valves and chambers. Like, what kind of fucking candy shop? Ventricle. Yeah, it's like this is the worst candy shop ever. Get the fuck off this island.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine going to Scotland and like you see a commercial for like, break me off a piece of that bloody heart? It's like, what was that? What?
Yeah.
Your chocolate, it's chocolate shaped like organs? This is not right. Oh, this is the greatest confectionery ever. It's fucking shaped like a baby.
Right. And then after they fucking sing Strumpets of Yore, and he fucking takes off and sees all the people fucking in the field. And then he comes back, and this dude just starts pushing people around. Like, he walks back in, somebody's like got somebody on their shoulder, they're singing a song, and he's just fucking shoving people out of the way like he's fucking Earl Campbell, like trying to like lumbering for the fucking end zone. He's just like fucking, I'm like, what a dick. Why are you pushing people? They're just having sex. You should try it. You'd be a lot less fucking pissed off.
You know what I found weird about this pagan society where they openly have sex in the fields is weren't they all dressed still? Like, take your all your clothes. No, okay. I thought they had most of their clothes on.
I think some of them were naked.
They didn't film the thing during the summer. They filmed it in the winter. It's a little cold up there.
Really? It's a little.
I think they were clothed. Even the naked girls dancing around the fire they had like a sheer bodysuit on.
Yeah, those were very young girls, Lloyd. I think they had to wear something.
I understand.
Were those the ones in the fake Stonehenge or the ones around the fire?
Yeah.
The fake Stonehenge, which reminded me of fucking Spinal Tap. They lowered this fucking
feet inches.
The 11-inch fucking
18 inches. Well, how he said you've got.
If we move the wee folk up a bit so they don't trot upon it. Yeah, it was.
That's not a henge.
Yeah, so this cop, I really didn't like him. I didn't, and so then he tries to go to sleep, and finally, after pushing people around and eating his canned dinner, he tries to go to sleep, and the fucking like Partridge Family folk band starts playing downstairs. Like it was the music was weird. Like,
oh yeah,
really?
Lots of music.
No, I mean, yeah, real lot of music, but different
almost as
types.
much as Phantom of the Opera.
Different types of music.
This was
Phantom of the
almost
Opera,
a musical.
Phantom of the Opera is all opera, right? Like Phantom of the Opera is like all opera.
Yeah.
Like, this was like, all right,
Not the
some
one we saw.
trippy hippie music,
Yeah.
and then some folk shit, and then like, singing fucking Strumpets of Yore, and I was like, what? They're like all over the place. Who the fuck put this music together?
Dude, the
Howie?
scene when he's in the bar, in the pub, and they all start singing and they all take a verse. I was like, it's like the Highland Wang Clan, Tang Clan. It's like,
it reminded me of Oliver the Musical, like when they're all fucking singing in the pub and like fucking all synchronized dancing, like they all know the fucking proper moves.
Like, like Ghostface Killa, Jizza, RZA. It's like all these guys have their own parts and they all know when to come in. It's like, are they
between the left toe and the right toe?
Oh man.
Right. So then the next day, he's like, all right, I'm going to fucking do some investigating. And that's when he goes to the school and meets Ingrid Pitt. And you can just tell all these people are fucking lying through their teeth. He can tell. Howie can tell too. Howie's not fucking confused at all. He knows that something's fucking gone.
And they're not really trying to hide it either. They're like being very thinly veiled.
They're like, no, we don't know this person. But then he walks into school and she's teaching all the kids about dicks.
Yeah.
And Howie's just getting so.
And what does the maypole represent, children?
Yeah, the phallic symbol. So, on a scale of 1 to 1,000,000,000,000, how fucking ugly was that little girl that was like laughing about the fucking
beetle?
The beetle. That was the ugliest little kid of all. I hope she grew up beautiful.
Leave little kids alone.
I hope she grew up beautiful, but holy shit. Like, she was like, did they go and look for the ugliest kid in Scotland? Like, what happened?
She's what I imagine the woman who played Mama Fratelli looked like as a child.
Yeah, Anne Ramsey. Yeah,
Anne Ramsey. That's what she looked like. I was like, oh look, that's a young Anne Ramsey. That's great.
that's Kate Beckinsale. Didn't you know that?
Oh, she grew into Kate Beckinsale.
Good for her.
I do. I'm a big fan of that Kate Beckinsale. I got to tell you.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Britt Eklund actually says she claims she was fat and ugly as a little girl.
She might have been.
Yeah.
She didn't look like that kid, though.
So maybe.
That kid looked like a fucking Italian teamster.
Wow.
That kid looked like one of the fucking ugly teenagers at the wedding at the beginning of The Godfather. Like that's the group of ugliest kids. Like all those kids watching fucking Johnny Fontaine sing at that fucking wedding. Like,
you guys are brutal.
Those kids were awful.
Hey, we love kids, just not that one.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, he's getting the runaround. He demands an exhumation of the body. They do it. It's a rabbit.
So, sure, of course,
as you expect, it's a rabbit, and everybody on the island is just like, well, we believe in not reincarnation, but she's come back. That was her, you know.
Oh yeah,
they're fucking with him, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So he brings the dead rabbit to Lord Summerisle's mansion. Summerisle is what's the word? Entertaining. He's got on his nice kilt. He's playing the piano, and he's trying. Well, he's not trying. He's probably going to be balls deep in the teacher very soon.
Pretty soon.
But then Howie comes, as he is a buzzkill, and throws a fucking 45-pound dead rabbit onto the fucking carpet.
Yeah.
Well, I just forget you skipped over the initial meeting between him and Summerisle, which was probably the highest point of the movie till you get to the end, where the two of them are just you get Christopher Lee's best lines in there, other than when he's standing outside the window and explaining sex to Sergeant Howie.
Yeah, I think my favorite line was when Howie says, "You've got naked girls jumping over a fire." He goes, well, we can't really have them with clothes on. That would be dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Christopher Lee definitely owned him in that conversation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He knows, you know, he's very confident in his beliefs. Yeah. And so is Howie. Howie's very confident in his beliefs, which is why he really doesn't like this fucking town full of fucking odd candy stores. And what was that other store he walked in where the guy had like a jar of foreskins on the fucking shelf?
Yeah.
What was that tree with the navel Juice? What the fuck was that?
No.
Well, that was part of the
Naval Corps?
reincarnation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to, so he figures out finally that the girl's fucking dead and he wants to exhume. At what point do you call for backup?
Never.
When do you say, okay, I've now figured out this girl's fucking dead and I need to get some other people here. I need fucking forensics. I need fucking all sorts of people here.
Yeah.
But this guy's like, nope. You got a shovel? I'm going to the foreskin guy to get a shovel. Oh, before I break into the fucking photo lab to develop these pictures.
Yeah. Like, that's not a quick process in 1973, right? Like,
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, there's no photo mats just in there fucking around.
Apparently Howie has the fucking training that he knows how to work the dark room.
Well, he's never had sex, so he's got a lot of time on his hands.
He's probably got a lot of hobbies.
Yeah.
He's probably got a lot of hobbies. I also love the part where he walked in and the fucking weird candy store owners jamming the frog in her other daughter's mouth.
Was that for a sore throat?
For a sore throat. Just put this frog in your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, Lindsay said to me,
"Don't spit."
What's happening here? And I said, I think it's like a pagan thing for sore throats. I don't know. But yeah. Fucking
frog is supposed to take it from your throat. That's an old wives' tale.
Yeah.
I only imagine at some point John's had a frog in his mouth. I'm just picturing it.
Castor oil.
Castor oil. Okay.
Yeah. So we've gotten through most of his examinations of the town folks and the weird ass candy store and the fucking foreskin store and his his meetings with Lord Summerisle. And unfortunately, we've already touched on, but I feel like we need to go back to Willow's dance party, like solo. Or solo dance party. Like that was weird. Intense. That also again started out with the Partridge Family, right? Like the Partridge Family's playing downstairs, and she's just like tapping on the wall, like in time with the
with the
music. Yeah.
Right. And then
she's tapping along to the loop beat.
Right. She's like, oh, make him say, na 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 na, and then and you can see, how he starts getting sweaty.
He's sweating.
Yeah, how he starts getting sweaty. He turns into like Joe Spinell, like in this scene. He's
practically humping the wall.
He is Spinell sweaty in this.
There was a deleted scene in our version that John has in his ultimate version where the shopkeep has to clean up the 9 pounds of cum that he left on the bed sheets from his blue balls from when she was playing.
This is that you bring up a great point. Has he ever masturbated?
No,
you think he's ever tugged one out?
No,
that would be anti.
That's a sin, right?
Is that a sin?
It is in certain Christian religions. Yeah,
waste of baby matter. I don't know. It's something.
Those scenes were not filmed next to each other. Those two rooms were 35 miles apart.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she pregnant when she filmed this?
Filmmaking magic.
Yeah. Right.
I think I read she was pregnant, and that's why they used a body double, because they show her breasts up, but then when it goes down, it's somebody else. And I think
I did read that.
Rod Stewart's kid. Rod Stewart apparently had a fit about this movie because he didn't want everybody to see her tits.
Right. That's when they pumped all the cum out of his stomach too. Right?
Yeah, I was just saying. All of a sudden, Rod Stewart's a fucking prude.
Are we gonna start bringing up 10cc now? Is that what
we can't make fun of Rod Stewart? John's sister will never listen.
I don't think she does.
No, I know, but I want a chance. I want a chance. I don't want her to shut us down.
And she's a big Rod Stewart fan.
I took her to see Rod Stewart at the Harvard Civic Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a great show.
Many years ago,
I'm sure.
On our old podcast.
Tour.
What's that?
Yep.
Probably the camouflage tour.
I don't know.
No.
I don't remember the name.
Many years ago on the old podcast, we did an episode where we talked about concerts, I think. We did one where it was like most surprising concert that you went to. And John admitted that Rod Stewart was like, he was super surprised at how good it was.
I like Stewart's early stuff with the small faces. So
sure.
When he came out and performed a lot of Small Faces material, because he had a couple of the old band members that were still kicking there with him, it was really cool. I mean, it was a great setup. They did it in the center of the Civic Center instead of at one end, which they usually do. They had these massive TV screens up, so if you couldn't see what he was doing, they'd film the whole thing. And then they had the Hartford Symphony with them too. So it was a band and a full symphonic thing going all at the same time. And this is when he was still married to what's her face down in Australia too. So
oh yeah,
was it Kathy Ireland?
No,
Kate McPherson or some shit, or
no,
the redhead.
The redhead.
I can't remember her name.
I should remember, and I can't.
Ingrid Pitt.
No.
Ingrid Pitt. Yeah,
Ingrid Bergman.
Ingrid Bergman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry Fine. He's a redhead.
Yeah.
Did he kick any soccer balls into the audience? That's his big thing. Yeah, that's his big thing. Rod Stewart could have been a pro soccer player.
I think Bowie was a good soccer player too.
Well, Bowie was a goaltender. He used to take it in the net all the time.
There it is. There, Gordon Ramsay was going to go pro.
Yep.
And had knee issues, I guess, or something.
And he was pro. What's his name? Bullet Tooth Tony, that actor. Vinnie Jones.
Oh, Vinny.
He was
Yeah, Vinny got kicked, but he got kicked out of the league. Like
he was a horser. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the dirtiest players of all time.
What's that?
Rachel.
He was married to Rachel Hunter.
That's right. That's right.
And I think about 2 years after that concert, they got a divorce.
Yeah,
she is so smoking hot in that Stacy's mom video. You ever see that? She's Stacy's mom in that video. Oh my God.
Yeah, going on.
Yeah. That's a sad thing. Real quick, I want to throw that out there. Yeah, I heard what you said there. Stacy's mom's got it going on. The guy who wrote that song, Adam Schlesinger, that was his band.
Yeah,
he wrote all the music for That Thing You Do. He passed away from COVID. And they did a thing last week where the entire cast of That Thing You Do did a watch party on YouTube with the movie.
Watched it.
Did you? I got to check it out.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite movies. I love that.
One of my favorite movies.
You're talking gibberish.
You're talking gibberish. Breath? Okay. No. I love that fucking movie.
That is a great movie.
A guy in a really nice camper wants to put our song on the radio. I'm signing. You're signing. We're all signing. I fucking love that movie. I really
do. It is. It's a great movie.
Have you ever seen the extended cut?
Where Howie Long plays his boyfriend?
Yes.
Yeah, the extended cut, you find out in the end that Tom Hanks' character is gay and his boyfriend is played by Howie Long. That's a great movie. It is a great movie. All right.
Frightening thought.
Let's get into the back end of the Wicker Man, as it were. Basically, Lloyd,
Lord's daughter.
What is happening in this whole thing? What is going on? What are we heading towards? The May Festival, right?
The festival,
Mayfair.
where they need to make the sacrifice so that their crops could come back the next year.
Yeah. Lord Summerisle explained that
everybody's dressed up in like big animal head outfits. It's very creepy.
I got a question.
So they look like fucking the cover for that movie Killing Zoe.
Yeah.
You ever see where and they're all wearing like bunny and fucking bear. Fucking.
I will say one scene that did creep me out was when he goes out to the plane to try to split, and it pans back to the
you get the three.
Yeah, and you get them popping up with like the trout head and the masks on. That was fucking creepy.
That was very creepy.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
But then doesn't he go inside and decides to take a little nap?
He takes a nap. What the?
Yeah, and then he wakes up in the fucking hand of glory.
Yeah.
Which, if you know anything about witchcraft, is a fucking dead hand.
I didn't know what that was.
Like a hand candle.
The hand of glory is a fucking it's a hand from a corpse.
Yeah,
it's like one of the most powerful. It's one of the most powerful things in magic.
It's meant to if you burn it like that, it's meant to keep a person held. If you want to put it that way. I mean,
right.
What did I write down? Not held, but something else.
Sleepy time.
Yeah.
Encapsulated.
Entranced.
Immobilized.
Yeah. David Bowie's boyfriend and Fitz McGee. He takes a nap. Not only does he take a nap in this village where he's very suspicious of everybody, he leaves the door open. Yeah. Like, this guy's a cop. This guy's a fucking cop. They gave him a plane.
This guy is the worst cop ever.
He is.
He really is totally freaking out at this point, too, which is even better. When he searches the entire town for the girl, Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm here on
Rampaging
orders
cop.
of fucking King Falafel to fucking, and I'll search whatever the fuck I want. Go get laid.
He goes into one of the houses. He's searching really hard for this girl. He goes into one of the houses. He pulls a curtain. There's a spiral staircase that goes down, and he just leaves.
Yeah. I was like, where are we going here?
Wouldn't that be a great place if you were to hide a little girl at the bottom of that staircase? Sure, that's where I'd put the fucking girl.
I like the other little girl who was hiding in the wardrobe, and then she falls out.
She just falls out. Bonk.
Fooled you.
Even the little kids are like, this guy's a fucking loser.
Yeah. Nobody likes Howie at all. Nobody likes Howie.
So he ends up infiltrating the May festival. He dresses up in the costume of the fool.
He takes the fool costume.
Yep. Which is very fitting because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody,
that's one of the requirements.
A kingly person who's a virgin and also a fool. And so he fucking goes and he goes ahead and fucking fulfills the last part of what they're looking for in a sacrifice.
So Lord Summerisle, his grandfather came up with a strain of apples that'll grow on this land. And every year the harvest is good. Last year the harvest wasn't good. They can't afford another bad harvest. So they reach down into the sun god's fucking bag of tricks and decide that we have to sacrifice a person to make next year's harvest good. So Howie is a virgin, which is one of the rules, like you said. He could have easily lost his virginity on night one. He refuses. Got the power of the king being a cop. He's willing. He's like fucking super willing to be there. And he ends up really fucking himself hard. John, what ends up happening at the end of this thing?
Well, the whole idea here is to sacrifice, finding the perfect sacrifice to their gods to get the harvest. So the easiest way to do it and the most sacrificial way they can think of is to put him in a giant wicker man and burn him alive, along with animals and other.
Yeah.
Well, he spots the girl Rowan, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he runs up to save her, and she says, "Oh, save me! I hate it here."
Oh, they
leads him through the caves into his surprise ending.
And back to my fucking not problem, but what I had to say before about all the different kinds of music in this film. During that scene when he's rolling around, it's like some blaxploitation music.
Sure.
It's like fucking kind of funk, like I'm like, what the fuck with the music in this goddamn thing?
Soundtrack produced by Quincy Jones and 9 other guys.
Yeah, Quincy
Herbie
Jones
Hancock.
and fucking Donovan. Like,
Right.
Roy Clark.
Joan Baez. Roy Clark. Yeah. So, yeah. And Owen, I'll tell you.
Explained to him, hey, it's going to be you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Owen was super pissed when he saw the animals in the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
He's like, they're going to burn the animals. Did not give a shit about Howie at all.
Yeah.
No shit's given. Owen is. For those listening, if you don't know, Owen is my 5-year-old son, who did not watch the whole movie. So don't think I'm that bad of a. He just happened to come. He came downstairs around the part. I think he heard the fucking blaxploitation music from upstairs. Came running down around the time. Yeah, he came running down around the time that they were chasing Rowan around, and he hung out for the rest. And like I said, he did not care at all that they were lighting Howie on fire. But he's like, they're keeping the animals in there? Get the animals out of there. I'm like, dude, it's just a movie.
I like how Larry qualifies that my kid didn't see the first hour and 20 minutes where nothing happens.
That's the horrible part.
Kept him away for that. But when they burn the guy alive in the name of the pagan lords, he was right there for that.
Yeah, I let him watch that. I didn't want to let him watch everybody screwing in the cemetery. And fucking,
there was no the fucking fields for him.
Yeah,
the human sacrifice right there.
I didn't let him watch Willow's fucking gyrating lambada. Her fucking whatever dance. I think she did the Cabbage Patch at one point.
I'll be honest.
Like,
at 5 years old, Owen would have known what to do with it more than fucking Huey did or Howie did.
100%.
I'm going to sweat this out.
So sweaty.
Jesus Christ, make this boner go to hell.
Wow.
Okay, so here's something I read about this movie.
Yeah.
It's that they obviously filmed on this island, and it was like a month-long shoot. Edward Woodward apparently would not let them show him the Wicker Man until the actual scene where he sees the Wicker Man. So he says that his reaction was partially, character and partially like true horror. He knew it was going to be a Wicker Man, but he had not seen the actual Wicker Man yet. So
creepy looking thing.
Yeah, well,
yeah, super creepy.
Yeah,
it'll always be creepy.
Yeah, that was creepy.
And his reaction is, this is a guy who now is falling completely on his religion.
He
He's got
was
nothing else at
screaming.
this
He was
point.
screaming psalms at him. He was. He did not give up. He didn't fucking ask the Lord, "Why hast thou forsaken me?" He didn't.
No,
not at all. He was holding true to his religion to
Bible
the
verses.
end.
What was he yelling? I'm a Christian. It is I who will live, not your damned apples.
And wasn't Lord Summerisle's like, "Oh, then you can be a martyr. Congratulations."
Yeah, right.
There was the one moment. There was some, because like Howie gets owned through this whole thing by everybody.
Sure.
Nobody takes him seriously. Summerisle owns him in conversation. But at the end, when he's talking to the village people and he's YMCA, when he's talking to the people of the village, he says that you're gonna do this to him next year. And he's the one. And fucking Summerisle looks like
he looked a little, he's like, oh shit. He's like, maybe he's got a point, but no.
Yeah. he gets very confident right away.
Yeah, he had to flip that shit real quick.
I'll be gone before then.
Yeah. He's like, don't fucking give these people any ideas, fucker.
Yeah.
Because when the fucking magic apples don't fucking grow, it's gonna be
another thing I read.
Some other elaborate ruse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I read behind the scenes was that if you notice when they put him in the Wicker Man, there's animals in the arms, I think, and the legs.
Yeah.
There's a goat above him. And they filmed obviously chunks of it where he's in the Wicker Man. And the goat kept on pissing all over him.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
That's great.
The goat is one level above him and it's just taking a leak and going through the straw and dripping all over him.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good. And then I think they ended it with some carnival music.
Well,
they are all dancing a jig and singing a folk song.
This guy, this is, like I said, not a horror movie until these last like fucking 10 minutes.
Yep.
And then it becomes a movie about burning a guy alive.
So, movies like this, I never really consider them horror movies exactly. They're more thrillers than anything else.
Yeah.
They've got horror elements.
That's what I would.
A lot of these 70s films were like this, and I like that about them. They're there to really tweak that little thing in the back of your head, like, oh, that's a little frightening.
Yeah.
There's something really wrong there.
Right.
But the last shot's really good where
the head.
Yeah. And the sun. Yeah. So
it's definitely a great ending shot, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
The whole ending scene where the Wicker Man is burning is obviously impressive because I can only imagine in 1973 they could only do it once, but the screaming of the animals was so disturbing. Yeah. And then you got Howie in there, like basically just like almost trance-like state, like just praying to himself. It's it's like no matter what a douchebag this guy was, he didn't deserve that.
All he had was his faith, and he stuck to it.
Right.
And it's a shame that people are persecuted for stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you would love to live on Summerisle, Lloyd.
No, thanks.
Lloyd's not big on apples.
Oh,
yeah.
If it was an island of pears, maybe. I like those motherfuckers.
Likes a good pear.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I like a nice pear.
Nice.
All right. Nice. Well, that's the Wicker Man. Well, John, so do you know, other than that one scene, I think I read there's a scene in the version you have, the extended version, where Lord Summerisle talks about apples for a while.
All right. So you guys probably didn't see the scene where Summerisle brings a kid to the Green Man, the inn, to give his virginity up to what's her face, Willow.
No, I didn't see that.
I saw that.
You saw that.
Okay.
Yeah. So you saw that, Lloyd?
I don't remember seeing that.
I didn't see that. Okay.
I did.
So that's one of the scenes, and that's the scene I was talking about where he talks about sex outside the window while the kid, this 15-year-old kid is having sex for the first time with Willow in the room, just down the hall from Sergeant Howie, and he's hearing this whole thing.
Yeah, he gets to listen to the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when you said that, I was wondering, I was kind of like, did I miss something? Okay.
Yeah, and they're doing a whole musical thing downstairs as well.
Yeah.
And Summerisle is watching a couple of snails bang each other, and he starts talking about the nature of sex, and it's pretty interesting.
Oh, so that wasn't in the version you saw?
Not mine.
Oh, okay.
I watched it on Netflix.
All right.
Yeah, there's only like an additional 5 minutes in the extended version. There's supposedly a full 2-hour version somewhere that's been missing for, well, what are we looking at, 30, 40 years now?
Yeah, they said they think it's in a can somewhere in a library, film library somewhere.
Well, they don't know. And before Christopher Lee had passed away, he was pretty positive that it had been buried underneath, I think if I remember correctly, the M5 motorway. And that's one of the weird conspiracies about why this movie never made it big in the theater. So
yeah, apparently in England, on a lot of highways, they would use old film stock as part of the tarring. I've read that before.
What?
Yeah, like they would go and like mix it in with tar and make the motorway out of it, like as a ballast. Yeah, I've read that before about other things. Yeah, I have listed here a director's cut, a final cut, and the Roger Corman cut, because when they wanted to put this movie out in the U.S., the director and the producers sent this to Roger Corman to see if he could cut it into something that they thought would make it in the U.S., and he cut a version of it as well. So there's versions that range from 87 minutes to 99 minutes, and I'm pretty sure I saw the 87-minute one because it was like an hour and a half, pretty much over.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Larry,
yeah,
what are we going to grade this based on? What is the hey, Owen, what's going on, man? What are we going to base this one on?
Obviously, apples. Magic apples.
Okay, all right. All right, so let's start with Sir John, because the last time we talked, he gave something a 0. I can't imagine this is going to be a 0.
I wanted to give it negatives. Remember?
No, yeah, I know you did. You did.
Let me.
So, John, Magic Apples, The Wicker Man, 73. What do you give it?
The Wicker Man will always be at a 4 Magic Apples for me out of 5.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. All right, Manster, what would you say you give The Wicker Man?
I'm going to give it 3.5 Magic Apples.
3.5 Magic Apples. Yeah. All right. All right.
I did enjoy it. It was slow, not exactly a horror movie, but I enjoyed the movie. It was a really good movie.
Very 70s.
Yeah. Larry?
Mr. Blutarsky. 0.0. That's for you, John, Sir John, with your 0 for brain dead. I won't do that. Because it's not fair to the film itself. As I said, I probably haven't seen it since I was about 15. I was probably about 15 years old when I was working at the video store and saw it. At that time, I was more than a little confused. Giving it a second watch, I understood a lot more. And I will tell you that in my favorite horror stuff is generally religious based and home invasion. So anything with a religion theme is always going to bother me, especially when it's cults. Cults just scare me because those people are way too serious and laser focused for my taste.
Yeah.
So I did think it was good, better than I remembered it. I would give Wicker Man 73 3.75.
Wow.
Nice.
Magic Apples.
I'll be the outlier. I enjoyed it. It was definitely less goofy than I feared it was going to be. I feared there was definitely goofy elements in it.
Yeah.
The music was a little, but it's of its time. So
yeah, definitely. You got to remember where, you're 40. I was born in 73. So yeah, this movie's 46 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say a 3.0 for me. I did enjoy this. Again, on the horror scale, not so horrifying, but it's a slow build. And everything that happens in this movie leads up to one thing happening. And even if the character doesn't see it, And even like, I would like to know someone's reaction who doesn't know anything about this, because I think everybody nowadays kind of has an idea. Oh, the Wicker Man. Yeah, they sacrificed that guy. It's not a secret. I would like someone who's never seen this to watch this and find out how they like, holy shit, they sacrificed that guy. You know what I mean?
That is how I felt like the first time I saw the movie.
Well, the first time
it was a holy shit. Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't know about it?
No, not before the first time.
Okay.
But I've seen it a couple times now. So
first time I ever saw it was on television. It was like a Saturday afternoon special or something like that. and I was riveted from the minute that I caught into it. And I don't remember if I saw it from the very opening scenes or not. At this point, I don't remember, but I just remember being, oh my God, what is going on here? This is a kooky friggin' movie. And I never forgot about it after that. It was one of those, it really impressed on me, particularly, and being a TV version too. So you're looking at a much shorter version.
I'm sure. Like 42 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of commercials. I do remember that. But the religious versus the paganism, and like you're saying, Larry, who's the cultist here? Because he's so fervent.
Oh yeah,
it's a little nuts.
Yeah, he's immediately dismissive of these people.
Yeah,
and their beliefs.
And being in
they're automatically heathens.
Yep,
and he's the correct one automatically.
He hates them from the second he lands. He's like, no chance. He's like, I'm not even gonna give it to the hot girl.
Well, just the way he's acting as soon as he lands, and the guy won't come over with a dinghy because it's private property. He's like, but I'm a police officer.
Yeah, right. I got a megaphone. I'm Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart.
Yeah. Look at my anchor. This is official business.
Planes with anchors, man. Planes with anchors. All right. So this has been another episode of Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. We're gonna roll the dice pretty soon and figure out what's going to be the next episode. So for the Manster, Sir John, and Scary Larry Dwyer,
heyo,
I'm Ganache, and I'm saying it this time. See ya.
Bye.
We are leaving!